Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be checking out the MORryde Manual Storage Reel for power cables. The way this is going to work, super simple, right? So take the end of your cable, the openings in the middle of the spool there are large enough for that to pass through, and then you can simply just wind it up. Something I did notice too, so be careful when you're doing this. If you don't have it completely wrapped up just yet and you want to let go of that handle, sometimes it can kind of spin back on you. So just keep that in mind. And something I like about having a spool like this is getting your cable clean. So let's say, over the weekend, had some bad weather, this got all muddy and nasty. It makes it a lot easier to keep things cleaned up. You can take your wash rag or whatever, and while you're spooling this, actually get that cable clean. Keep it in good shape. That way you don't have dirt and junk all over the place in your storage area. So really manageable, don't take a whole lot of effort at all, and keeps it nice and clean. This particular spool is going to allow you to wrap up RV power cords up to 30 foot long, whether it's a 30 amp or 50 amp cable. And this is a manual one, so you are going to have to crank it. There's a motorized version available as well. That's something that interests you. And if you have really long cables, up to 50 feet, there's a larger version available as well that'll allow you to wrap those up. Having something like this on your rig can really make life a little bit easier on you, especially when you go to set up, you get to your campsite, and especially when you go to clean up because you're headed home or on to the next spot, right? Having a cable management system really makes it easy. You know where it is, easy to get to, easy to pull out, so you can just unravel it, hook it up. When you're done, wraps up, call it a day, right? You don't have a big tangled mess. You don't have totes and stuff sitting on top of it and everything else like that. And it makes it really compact, all right? You can wrap this up nice and tight, doesn't hardly take up any space at all. And that's super important. I feel like it seems like a ton of people are always concerned with maximizing their storage space when they're over the road because it makes sense. You don't have a lot of it. So, being able to organize this, you can get it off to the side, super easy to get to, and potentially free up quite a bit more room to put other stuff that you might have in one of these compartments. So seeing how easy it is to actually wrap this up, let's do the opposite. Let's go ahead and pull it off. And super smooth, not really running into any issues there at all. And especially, if you take your time and kind of get it started good, you won't get hung up at all. And now with this out of the way, there at the very end, that plug kind of got hung up. Not a big deal though. Still easier than doing it all by hand. At least in my opinion it is. But with this out of the way now, completely removed, good opportunity to take a look at what's going on in here. In terms of the quality of construction of this, anything MORryde is really good. These things are very well built, they hold up excellent, and they just work like you'd expect them to. One of the things I noticed, everything is attached with rivets, and I feel like that's really important, especially when you're dealing with electrical cables, especially ones that have a lot of amperage run through them. So for example, if these are just pointy screws running through here, sooner or later it wouldn't fail. That cable would end up getting pinched up in there, or damaged or something like that. So having rivets in there, there's smooth edges, something that you're not going to have to worry about, and give you some confidence knowing when you got to plug everything in, you're not going to have to worry about any issues there. To help figure out where you're going to be able to mount this, being that it usually goes in a compartment like we have here, sometimes you don't have all the room in the world. Thankfully, this is relatively compact. The size of it is going to be 12 3/4 of an inch long. It's going to be 14 5/16 of an inch wide and 13 7/16 of an inch tall. Now keep in mind too, you might want a little more breathing room, depending on your cable and how tight you wrap it and stuff. It might hang up past the edge a little bit, so just keep that in mind. But generally speaking, even in a smaller compartment like we have on our camper today, you shouldn't run into too many issues. So when it comes down to it, an awesome cable management system, you know, it's the little things in life, right? And this is gonna help save you quite a bit of time, hassle, and energy. You know, to me, it sure beats picking up a 20+ pound cable, you know, and trying to sling it in there and then untangle it and everything else. So this will really kind of streamline things and make your camping experience that much better. And like I talked about that storage, MORryde makes a lot of awesome products. They're all really well built, made in USA, and particularly storage stuff, right? Like they got these trays that can slide out and really help you capitalize on every inch of storage space that your rig has to offer. So, you know, if that's the path you're going on or something you're interested in, definitely check out all their products. Really well made and won't be disappointed. And that'll finish up our look at of the MORryde Manual Storage Reel for power cables.